Hello and welcome to my channel, and this is where I teach how to improve any photo with simple composition techniques for the average person. We use photos every day, whether you're selling something on eBay or we just want to preserve memories. So I was on a date. This is a great little restaurant. It was decorated really nice, and it took these photos. So I got 4 photos. This one, this one, this one, and this one. They're pretty simple. There's grouped into, this is similar to this one because you got the guy there, and it's just at different zoom levels. So I like this photo because we have this couple there and they're very visible. Um, but I like this one a little bit more because it's just a little more interactive with this guy, with the bartender working. And then we have this is a much wider shot, just like this is the wider shot, and it has more of the background area. I feel so. What I want to do is, when you have a photo like this, the first thing we need to do before we do anything is straighten it out. You can see it's crooked, and we just want to straighten it out. Okay. And we want to remove the stuff that isn't necessary. All this down here isn't necessary. We could crop it down there. I would say that this is the subject matter, and then this is kind of like the framing of it to capture this Christmas spirit and all these spirits. We don't, this is kind of, it goes off into a separate story over here. It doesn't, it's not really, has no value. So let's take a look at that. This will be real quick. Basically pull this up to about here. And pull this way. On the left-hand side, I want to, this is high contrast, so we're going to crop it right about here. We're going to lose some of this, these bottles, but I think we have so much other detail around here that it's not too bad. There's always a trade-off when you frame a photo, how much you're going to lose. And I'm just going to pull in just a little bit more like that. And then on the top, because the story in a photo, and if you're looking at it just from an iPad or an iPhone or in relatively close distance, your field of view for the main story is probably something like this, and specifically that. So when you get to a point where you're looking at other stuff in the photo that doesn't, you would have to shift your eyes and look up there, but there's nothing to look at. And this is clearly, people are very interesting. So we gravitate, when we look at photos, we gravitate to what the people are doing. And you could tell that she's in a conversation, looks like they're on a date. He doesn't look terribly interesting. He's interested. He's kind of slouching. My date was far more interesting. And anyway, so I'm going to drop stuff on the top and just frame it. Even though we're losing some cool festive decor, I think we're just going to drop it down to here. Maybe a little bit less. And there's that one. Now on this side, on this one, we're going to do the same thing. Nothing valuable at the bottom. We want to get rid of that guy on the left-hand side. Same on the right. And we got, what I'm going to do, actually, pull this out. So this is a wider angle shot, and I lined up these this lines with the 2 corners. It kind of leads your eye in. We do have a lot of the ceiling, which isn't terribly interesting. The people are much more in the background, so they're harder to view and look at because they're just not as prominent, right? They don't take as much space. And this is really about the whole atmosphere rather than the individual, the couple in the background. So I would say this is a far more interesting photo. Although this isn't too bad. Let's go into this one. First of all, we're going to straighten it out. And this is actually the one I decided to go with. Oops. All right, we're going to crop it on the bottom. We don't need anything below the counter. I'm going to pull this to about there. So I'm lining up the corner with that that cross member, the structure of the top of the bar. And there we have this one. And it's, I think a couple is much more interesting, but we got the bartender in the clear foreground. So it's a, because he's closer to the front, it's much more compelling, much more interesting. He's in the middle of doing something, ringing somebody up. Um, let's go to this one. Again, we're going to straighten it out. First thing we do, we don't need this person on the right. Get rid of that. And then we want to balance it with the two diagonal members at the top. This one's, I think this one's a little bit better than this one. The lighting's good here, but with this one, we have this guy looking directly into the camera. We have a wider shot. It shows more of the bottles and just the decoration and whatever that is up there. It's still a little bit crooked. It's very compelling when you have somebody looking into the camera, as opposed to this photo where his back's toward us. It's just, it's not inviting, right? Like if you look at this is much more inviting. They're looking at us and we're kind of trying to engage them too. And we go here. I think the couple's lost with all the other detail. Very, very busy photo, very busy photo. But here, I think that it's not busy enough. In fact, I would get rid of this foreground. I think this is like cropped too much because we miss all the atmosphere. And it's really about this couple, and apparently it's really about that woman talking. She's still talking. Actually, with this one. So this one. So it's kind of like what your story should be, what you want the story to say. I think I ended up posting this one or this one. I think this is a much better photo. I don't know. I don't want to see some guy bored on a date. I've had enough of those. So anyway, my name's Paxton. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.